I'm going to show you how to shade a sphere using the circle method I've been sharing with you. And I'm going to start, I've got a very light drawn circle here. I'm going to start at the top. And you can see I'm shading in circles. I'm not shading straight across. There's no lines on my paper. But I'm covering a large area with my circles. But they're still really, really light. You probably don't see much on the video at all yet because yellow is super light. So I've come about halfway down on my sphere. Now I'm going to grab my orange colored pencil. I'm going to start below where the yellow stopped. And again, super light. I'm shading with circles. And after I do about a row of circles underneath the yellow, now I'm going to start to wrap back around that yellow and I'm going to start to overlap. So that yellow is going to become yellow-orange. And still, it's really light. You don't see a lot of color definition, and that's okay. And you can see I'm starting to wrap up the edges here as I shade because I want that crescent moon shape as I go. After that, I'm going to come in with my red colored pencil and I'm going to come below the orange. Again, I'm going to do circle shading, no lines. And then I'm going to start to feed into that orange. I'm going to start to overlap. And again, I'm coming up in that like crescent moon shape, okay? Now I'm going to come underneath my red. I'm going to put a little purple or violet. And then I'm going to start to overlap that into my red, orange as well. So that's my first coat, and I have yellow, orange, red, violet. So all of my colors, all my analogous colors are overlapping. Now I'm going to start on the bottom and start to shade my way back up and do a second coat. So now my circles are a lot more tight, close together. They're overlapping really well. And I'm pushing harder with my colored pencil so it gets darker. Now, after I get that darker edge on there, I'm gonna release some of the pressure on my pencil. I'm gonna start to fade out and get lighter. And I'm running into a little orange and a little red here as I come up. Your colors are gonna start to overlap more and more as you do layers. So now I'm gonna come down with my red. I'm not coming all the way down into my purple, but halfway through my purple. And I'm gonna start to do those tighter circles, and I'm gonna start to get a little bit darker too. And you can see I've got a few lines on my paper here and here where I scratched a little too dark. Hopefully by the time I'm done layering, those will fade away. But do you see how I keep coming up closer on these edges, higher and higher? I'm trying to make this look more like a sphere, more like a ball. Now I'm gonna come in with some orange. And again, tighter circles. I didn't go all the way down to where my red started. I started in the midway point. And now I'm gonna add a little bit more orange coming up. And I'm coming in just a little bit tighter up here with that crescent moon shape. And then a little bit more yellow. So you could do 4 or 5 coats of color because this is way too light. And as you keep overlapping and pushing harder, your sphere is going to get a lot more intense color-wise. So here's my finished one, and that's about 4 or 5 coats, and you can see purple, red, violet, red, orange, orange, yellow. So I've got all my values on here. Then I added my red, violet shadow underneath it. But I just kept curving around as I went and putting more and more pressure on it.